Hi, I'm Rochelle Travers, and this is the Standard's Tech and Science Daily Podcast. Coming up, a major breakthrough for inflammatory bowel disease. Now, let's get into it. AI chipmaker Nvidia's value has overtaken Apple and surpassed $3 trillion, meaning it's now the world's second most valuable company. Nvidia's record shares helped Wall Street also reach an all-time high overnight, amid the frenzy around artificial intelligence. The firm's surge in market value to leapfrog Apple marks another milestone in the tech sector, with Apple previously having dominated since it launched the iPhone in 2007. Apple lost its crown as the world's most valuable publicly listed company to Microsoft earlier this year, due to worries over iPhone demand and thanks to Microsoft's investment in ChatGPT maker OpenAI. Scientists have made a significant health breakthrough by discovering a major cause of inflammatory bowel disease.
Inflammatory bowel disease is an umbrella term that combines Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. And for a long time, we haven't really understood what are the key drivers in a way that could enable us to develop treatments that would work for many people. What we've discovered using genetics as a starting point is a pathway that seems to be central and play a major role in driving not only inflammatory bowel disease, but lots of other diseases as well. And excitingly, we found a way to treat it.
That's James Lee, clinician scientist group leader at the Francis Crick Institute, an honorary consultant gastroenterologist at the Royal Free Hospital, who led the research.
So this pathway occurs in a type of immune cell called macrophages, and we've known for some time that macrophages are really important in inflammatory bowel disease because many of the treatments we already use target chemicals that are produced by those macrophages. The question, though, is exactly why do those macrophages get so activated? Why do they go haywire, and why do they contribute to disease?
For the study, James's team at the Francis Crick Institute worked with UCL and Imperial College London, as well as collaborators across the UK and Europe.
And what we found is a gene that sits right at the very top of the pyramid that is in many ways a bit like the conductor of an orchestra. It is the thing that directs macrophages to become inflamed. And we found that from genetics. So we found that from a region of DNA, which we've known is associated with ulcerative colitis and Crohn's and other diseases for some time. It's just we've never understood exactly what's going on at that particular region.
James says there are already several drugs for IBD, but they don't work in many people. And drug treatment development has long been an issue in this area. Now they've figured out this pathway, the team hopes they will eventually be able to bring medicines to patients that could improve their quality of life by switching off the inflammation that drives the symptoms and suffering that comes with the diseases. There's even the potential hope of one day getting to the stage of being able to reverse IBD completely.
So we have found a way to switch off this pathway in the lab. It works on tissue from patients that we can show it switches off all the cytokines in a way that you would want to do as a treatment. What we haven't yet done is actually take that to patients. And actually there's an issue with that because what we need to do first is make sure it's going to be safe enough for patients to take in the long term. So we're actually doing more work now to try and ensure that we can use the lowest possible dose of these drugs and do it in a way that's very targeted and very safe.
The research is published in the journal Nature. Next.
2, 1, ignition, and liftoff of Starliner and Atlas V.
The sound of Boeing finally launching its long-delayed astronaut capsule. It's the company's first ever launch of a crew of humans into space using its Starliner spacecraft that has been in development under a multi-billion-dollar NASA contract. This mission, a final test before Starliner can fly 6 more missions, was a critical moment for Boeing, whose commercial aeroplane and space units have suffered successive issues in recent years. At the time of recording this podcast, Starliner is orbiting and on its way towards the International Space Station. It's expected to dock later today at approximately 5:15 p.m. BST, and the astronauts will be there for about a week. A leak claims that the new Apple iPhone is gearing up to break a record for the world's thinnest phone bezels, aka the border between the screen and the frame of a device. The leak account called Ice Universe posted images and dimensions on X for the iPhone 16 Pro Max, which is taller, wider and thicker than the previous model, and it's also expected to have a bigger screen, at 6.9 inches. The account reports that the new device will be the world's closest smartphone to a borderless sci-fi form factor. Other rumours circulating about what to expect are different displays on some models, a new strategy for its new generation processors, more advanced camera lenses, and a new thermal design to prevent overheating. Let's go to the ads. Coming up, do you know what temperature your fridge should be? And why us Brits love an outtake. Welcome back. Doctors are warning that energy drinks may trigger a dangerous condition in people with genetic heart disease. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic in the US looked at the medical data of 144 patients who had survived a cardiac arrest following emergency treatment. 7 of them, aged between 20 and 42, had consumed an energy drink sometime before the life-threatening event. Although other factors such as sleep deprivation, dehydration, dieting, extreme fasting, vaping, and antibiotic medication may also have been at play. Energy drinks can potentially disrupt the heart's electrical system, increasing the risk of abnormal heart rhythms, which can lead to severe health consequences such as sudden cardiac arrest. Do you know what the ideal fridge temperature is? Because apparently a lot of us don't. A study has revealed that 71% of household fridges are running at above the recommended maximum temperature of 5 degrees Celsius. Researchers from the 0 to 5 Food and Drink Research Unit at Cardiff Metropolitan University also found that 37% of household fridges in the study were even operating at 10 degrees Celsius or higher. For safety, Food Standards Agency guidelines recommend that your fridge should operate between 0 to 5 degrees Celsius. And finally, now be honest, how many photos have you taken and been like, nope, don't like it, let's take another? Well, research from Honor, a global provider of smart devices, has found that us Brits have an average of 339 outtakes on our phones. The quest for the perfect pic means a third of Brits aged between 18 to 45 get embarrassed when it takes someone too long to take a good photo of us, and 1 in 5 feel frustrated if friends or relatives' photography skills don't quite hit the mark. Across the regions, people in Wales had the most photo fails, with a whopping 776 in their phones on average. You're up to date. Come back at 4 p.m. for the Standard podcast for all the latest news and analysis. Tech and Science Daily will be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. See you then.